Hi, welcome back to our creative videos. I'm Pam Hayes from Hayes Sewing Machine Company, and today we're going to be doing a 3-yard quilt, and this is going to be Quilts on the Double. That's the book that I'm taking my quilt from today, and it's called Broad Strokes. Now, you'll love this. It is super simple to do. You have a large block, which is great if you have a kind of a large, kind of powerful print that you don't want to chop up. This is a new fabric that we got in from Tula Pink. I believe it's called Moon Garden. It's really, really pretty. And then the only block that you have to piece is the one that you see here that has the fuchsia print and it has the green stripe on either side. That's it. And then you put the blocks together. What I also like about it is when you put the rows together, you only have, we have the basically a solid, the stripe going all the way across, and you only have 2 corners that you have to match up. Yay! So when they say quilts on the go, they really mean it. All right, so we have our big block. Okay, so I've already cut that out. And then to do the pieced block that you see, we have 1 strip for the center. And I'm only going to be showing you 1 of them, but you're going to basically have 3 more. So you're going to have 4 total. So you're going to have, gather all my things together. You're going to have your stripe on either side. So just to kind of give you an idea of what we're looking for, you're going to have your main fabric in the center, and then you're going to have 2 of the matching on either side. And remember, 1/4 inch seam. So I'm using my 1/4 inch foot. We're going to put right sides together. And I'm going to line this up. And we're just going to sew down. And we're going to do our 1/4 inch seam. So remember, I've already done the 3 other, and I used them in the quilt behind me. So we're going to do the rest. Sew down. And again, we're going to sew down, lining up our edges together. All right, so once we've done that one, we're going to flip it, and we're going to do the same on the other side. So remember, this is the only block that we need to piece. The other one is actually just one big piece that's cut. So if you need this for a quick gift, it'll really do a nice job for you. And we're going to have a Facebook sew-along for this quilt that I'm doing. Starting in January. So if you're interested in doing the Facebook sew-along, I think it costs $10 to sign up, and traditionally it takes about 8 weeks. Though we have had zealous sewers that, you know, were done in like 4. There's always overachievers.
Absolutely. But it's nice to do the sew along. It kind of you get to work at your pace, but you get little check-ins to see where you're at, and you post and see what other people are doing. So it's always lots of fun.
Yeah, I always like to see the different fabrics that people have done. All right, there we go.
All right, hang on for a second. I need to zoom back out again. There we go.
All right, so I have sewn my 1/4 inch seam, and I'm going to press to the green. All right, so we're just going to go over to the ironing board, and we're going to press it to the green. Now, this is where you want to take some time and make sure you have it pressed. We don't want any accordion, okay? So in other words, I can't pull anything. You know, everything's laying nice and flat. If you find that you tend to give yourself a bubble or a crease, it's not going to be very accurate when you go to try to sew it together. Though on this block honestly is pretty forgiving. So if you made a boo-boo, it's not a mistake. It's a creative possibility.
There you go.
All right, so I like to press from the front. And then I also like to just make sure that everything is pressed nice and flat. Pam being a little anal retentive. I was trying to think of a nice
OCD.
way of saying that. Yes, OCD.
You know, we're always talking about my OCD.
All right, so now we're going to go and we are going to cut the length of this the same as my big block, which would make sense. So we're going to line it up. I'm going to trim this up so I have a nice even edge. And we are shooting for 10.5 inches. So that's what we're trying to line up and get 10.5 inches. There you go.
So my easy math means you'll get 4 blocks out of each strip.
Aren't you good? Yep, you got it. So that's why she has you do
3 strips for 12 blocks.
Yep. Actually, I think there's a little bit more. You need 4 strips total.
Oh, excuse me. So 16.
16. Yep. All right. So I'm just going to line this up. Trying to use the lines on my ruler. And again, we're looking for 10.5. Okay. Alrighty. So now I am on row 5. Okay. Basically, and I did mark them. 1, 2, 3, 4. So at this point, I need another start with the big print. Now the only thing that I kind of lined up and did is I made sure the bee was kind of looking kind of up.
Oh, so he wasn't flying upside down?
Yes, I didn't.
I didn't want the little thing to have the blood drain into his head, huh?
I know, he gets dizzy and the whole bit. All right, so then we're going to line it up. Should match up. Remember though, if you had a little faux pas and you notice that your one block is bigger, what do? We always put the bigger block down. All right.
And can you just show your bee again? Because I don't think it was on the camera.
Yep. So see how I want my bee facing up as opposed to a dead bee.
Oh,
that would be sad.
All
right. And I'm going to line this one up. All right, so I have big block, stripe, big block. We're going for the stripe again. So we're lining that up. All right, now I'm going to look for my last big block. So again, I'm just trying to have them so I look for the bee. All right, and then I just need to do one final stripe at the end. You'll have one strip left over. Make a mug rug or something out of it.
There you go.
Be part of a bag. Be pretty. Whatever you do with it, it'll be pretty. Alrighty, so I've been alternating rows as far as where I'm pressing my seams. So all of the odd ones, if you take a look up here, row 1, I've gone towards the sticker, then opposite for row 2. So at this point, when I press my seam, I'm going to be going towards the first big block that I sewed. So again, I just kind of hold it up to make sure I get my seams going the right direction. However you do it, doesn't matter. If you take the time and kind of pay attention to where your rows are, you can kind of nestle, make them so that they go together. Okay, so we're going to take my quilt down here, and I'm putting my final row on. Not a bad deal. Alrighty, so I'm going to put my row on. Again, want to make sure I have my, if you have a directional, you want to make sure you're putting it in the right direction. And whenever you feel a seam line up, we're going to go and we're going to do a little quilt tack.
Ooh, are you going to do quilt tack?
I know, because you're standing here.
You can just quilt them, I don't mind.
Alrighty, so we're going to do a little quilt tack. Remember, quilt tack, you can do it at your normal length of stitch. And we're just going to stitch a couple stitches before the seam to a couple stitches after. And you're just going to do it basically where your seam is. And then we open it up. Take a look-see. That looks good. And that looks good. So we have there.
Nope, slow down.
I'm sorry. Here we go.
We're having a problem with the focusing. There you go.
All right. So we got it lined up. Now, at this point, we're going to take a look. And if you had a poochie you know, a little section that was bigger, try to put that bigger piece down towards the feed dogs. Because remember, if the bigger one goes down to the feed dogs, it'll help pull it through a little faster. All right, and we're just going to line this up. Do our 1/4 inch seam. And you'll like the cutting out of this. Super simple. For fabric number 1, you just cut the big pieces, and then for the other 2, you cut the strip, and then 2 strips on either side. Gotta love that. So if you're in a little bit of a time crunch, not that we would ever try to sew something for last minute.
Never.
Never. All right, so we're gonna get this lined up. And voila, we are done. And there you go. Now, that's the kind of the major piecing parts. Now remember, it has 2 borders to put on it. And I'm not going to bore you with showing that, but I have them cut, so if Loretta wants to shimmy on over here. See if I can find a flat section here. There you go. So that's going to be the first border. And then this is going to be the second. So
Nice.
it's beautiful. It's not subtle, but it's going to be a gorgeous quilt when it's finished. All right. Hope to see you next time, and I hope you enjoy the project.